Well, hey, HARTbeat audience. I'm Butch Hartman.
Hello, I'm Julieann, and we are live.
We are live from...
Not in Vegas.
Not in Vegas.
Not in Venice.
It feels like Vegas or Venice. It feels like the Venetian in Venice. But guys, listen, we are right now coming to you from the Opryland Hotel in Nashville, Tennessee. We're here for the National Religious Broadcasters Convention because we're promoting a new cartoon that I'm doing. We'll tell you about it later. It's super exciting, but it involved us getting here with these big costume characters that we have, and we have a booth here. We're networking, and we're coming to you because it's important to talk to you today because we're talking about what do couples do together. What do you do together as a couple? Julieann, what would you say about it?
Well, and because, you know, a lot of stuff that we're doing, we're always doing so many things, and we're moving fast. And so there's a lot of room sometimes for arguing because why? Well, you're tired, you're frustrated.
Not me.
And, well, no, what's interesting is that if you and I were co-workers, you know, I wouldn't say most of the things that I would say since we're married. And vice versa, right?
No, you're worse, but go ahead.
So, but when you're married, you'll say anything.
Yeah, you really will.
Right? But if it's a coworker, you'd be like, oh,
well,
no,
I better not say that. Yeah, exactly, right, guys.
So
exactly.
it's just kind of funny, the dynamics, but we do a lot together, and this was a very big undertaking, but you know what? We both had to learn to still respect each other, to not get mad at each other, to get to the goal of what it is, and that's what we're encouraging you to do. What is the goal? What is your goal in whatever you're doing? Or what is your goal in your marriage?
Yep.
What is your vision? What is your mission statement? Because when you have that, it makes all this other stuff that we're doing, it's like, it's all part of that. But when you know that you're doing it as a mission, that's really exciting.
Right. And when you're doing it together, we're doing it live here in the middle of a hotel. When you're doing things together, it makes things so much sweeter when you reap the fruit of what you're doing.
Yeah.
Now listen, it's time. You can always do things on your own. I mean, there's things you have to do on your own. It's impossible to do every single thing together. But as many things together as you can do as a couple, you need to do together. And let me ask you this. If you're not doing things together, why not? Do you not trust your spouse to help you do things with you? Or are you afraid to do things with your spouse? Maybe you're afraid you might mess up and they might think you're silly or, you know, not smart or something.
I can see that for sure.
Yeah, you might have some fear about how you would look to your spouse. And that will sometimes lead to anger where you don't want to admit that you're afraid. And that sometimes happens to me, you know, and I don't want to admit that I've done something wrong or incorrect or whatever because I don't want to look bad in front of her, right? But it's too late because she just yells at me anyway. So it doesn't really matter. Am I right?
That is so not true. Don't even take that picture.
Okay, I'm not painting a picture.
But what happens though, if you think about that, so you're concerned that you don't want to let me down, but yet you let me down even more when you have an attitude about what you let me down about.
Wow.
But I told you.
That's a long way to go with that one, yeah.
But I've told him since for many years and in past times, and you've never disappointed me. So nothing you've done up to this point has ever disappointed me.
Except for right now. Except for right now, this minute.
Yeah, the way you're holding this tripod.
I know. I'm doing my best. You know, guys, we have been here since Sunday. We had to fly here together. We had to get our big costume characters shipped here. We had to get our booth stuff shipped here. We had to get people here we had to send people here as our team. We had to get our registration taken care of. We had to get hotel rooms, rent-a-cars. There was a lot that went into this event that we're at. But we had to do it together or it would not, would not have happened.
Yeah, and you know, also I think that, well, there's no ego between us. It's like we're both very hard workers, and that's what we do. We work hard.
Yeah, we don't have time to have ego.
It's not worth it. It's a waste of time to have an ego towards your spouse, toward something that you're working toward, right?
Yep.
Having a mission and a vision statement is really important because then you always know, like, okay, wait, why are we doing this? I'm exhausted. Wait, why are we doing this? Oh, it's for the kids. It's for, you know, whatever. It's for building water wells in Africa, whatever it might be, whatever your mission is.
Right. So what we're doing right now is far more important. The end result is far more important than our personal feelings about it. Meaning,
especially just to argue. It's like, why?
And our personal feelings, believe me, we're very invested in this situation that we're taking care of this week because this is going to not only affect our future, but hopefully it'll affect the future of millions of kids around the world because this program that we're doing right now is going to be, we feel, very, very successful. And it's been something we worked on for many, many years. We had a lot of interviews about it today. We actually hired a press manager that got us a lot of interviews today. It was so exciting. But we never would have gotten to this position had we not done this together for the last 30 years. Now, you might be in a relationship right now, you've only been in it for a week. You can't even imagine 30 years. Maybe you're 10 years in, maybe you've been divorced. None of that matters, because what matters is getting your heart in the right place so you can even allow yourself to do something together with somebody else. That's what it's about.
And to create things together, you know?
Right.
And that's one thing, like I said before, ego is not going to work with this, because you can't worry about trying to get like only your ideas, and any idea that he has is stupid or it just doesn't work, and you just kind of like brush it off. No.
See how easily she said my ideas were stupid? See
no,
how
but you have
easily
to
that rolled out of her mouth?
You have to consider each other's ideas and find something that you know is going to work for both of you.
Amen.
And that's really important.
Have you ever asked your spouse what they think?
I dropped my shoe.
Oh, she dropped her shoe. Have you ever asked your spouse what they think? I mean, seriously, can you imagine never asking your spouse what they think? I mean, it might seem like something kind of silly and kind of simple, right? But you ever asked them what they think? Because that would be something that you might want to try. Hey, what do you think? Many times we're afraid to do that, or many times we don't want to do it.
Well, it's my way or the highway usually.
Yeah, it's
No,
usually
that's not,
it's actually usually her way or the
I
highway.
don't mean like I say that, but a lot of times spouses will say my way or the highway. It's like either it's going to be I'm going to do it, or I'm not doing it with you, which is not going to last long in a marriage at all.
Yeah, amen. I agree with that. So what do you guys think? Leave us some comments. And what is difficult for you to do together in your marriage? What's a difficult thing for you? Is it communicating? Is it do you communicate too much? Does your spouse want you to maybe give them a break and let them do something on their own? I don't know. You guys need to tell us what is important to you in your marriage, and what do you, it's funny, everybody's walking by us and they think we're pointing the camera at them, but we're actually pointing it at us, so people are walking by not knowing.
Staring at us.
Yeah, we just had a guy sit right next to us on the bench. He just thought, oh, have a seat. There you go. It's a public bench. Why not? What's amazing about this hotel, if you've ever been to the Opryland Hotel in Nashville, this place is like a city within a city within a city. It is massively huge. This is just 1/1000th of this hotel. It's just huge. So that's what we wanted to talk to you guys about today. So leave some comments. Anything else you want to say about this topic?
Well, no, it's just that it's also writing down your vision together. So sitting together
Huge.
and writing, not just like talking about it.
Yep.
Because it really helps when you write about it, so that you can get something on paper to each other, and then discuss those things. Like,
and the Bible does.
Why do you want to do that?
Right.
And what benefit is that going to be? And another question that you want to ask is it part of the timeline that we're in right now?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, sometimes you get to the point where you're exhausted and you're like, wait a minute, I don't know if I can keep going on like this and keep doing this amount of work. Where are we best?
What's the payoff
here? Where are we best serving? Like where's our energy going?
Yeah, work smarter, not harder, which is an old saying that I wish I'd thought of, but I didn't. But it's true.
Literally, we're hard-working people. We've always have been. But I love it. That's what I love to do, and that's what he loves to do. So, but we have to be careful, though, that we're not doing so much hard work. We're not seeing each other. That's why it's awesome that we work together as well. What
I really loved today was our publicist got us some really cool interviews. And normally, through the course of my career, I've done all the interviews by myself, because it's been about my career in animation and stuff like that. But she got to be in all the interviews with me, which was really, really fun. Did you have fun?
Yeah, it was really fun. It was cool.
Yeah, great. And when there was a question, maybe I thought she could answer, I threw it to her, and she would throw it to me. Yeah, it was really neat.
Question.
Yeah. Now your Google profile is going to go up because you're on all these different interviews now.
Does that mean I get an IMDb?
Oh yeah, well maybe not. You got to be on something to do that.
Right.
But that's okay. You can do that. Well, maybe eventually.
Yeah, but see, writing stuff down and then talking about it. And I know sometimes we go like, oh, that's a great idea, but we never do it. You know, another thing too is funny is that we meet a lot of couples that are just getting together, and they are, considering marriage and all that. And they go to all these classes, and it's like all this stuff that you learn. You're writing all these letters to each other, and you're writing about your relationship and all that. And then you get married and start having kids, and you're like, oh, I don't have time to do that.
Yeah,
and
things
so
do change.
somebody has to make time for that stuff. Like somebody has to make sure that in the couple, in the relationship, that you're making time for it, because whatever it might be that you might find, maybe it's just going out and getting coffee together. Maybe it's going out and doing miniature golf together.
Or maybe it's going to the NRB convention in Nashville, Tennessee, and doing a whole booth and promoting a new show. Maybe it's that.
Yes.
And by the way, just something on that, doing that together. For years I worked for a massive corporation that would promote things for me and pay for everything. But then when you start doing things on your own, and you have to pay for it yourself and strategize it yourself and come up with all the answers yourself, that's something that's awesome to have a partner to think about it together with.
Well,
so what things can you do with your partner today, with your spouse or your person you're in a relationship with? What can you do with them today to further your relationship and work together on something? What can you work together on?
Well, it's funny because I was going to say, I thought that's what you were going for. When Butch worked at Nickelodeon, we would just walk in and he'd walk in as the star. Everything was done, right? Everything was set up, amazing. Not the case.
Not here.
No, not here. We have an amazing assistant.
We had to set up on our own.
And she helped us set up everything, and it was awesome. And so, was it a lot of work?
And our daughter Sophia wore the character costume all day.
Our friend Hillary wore the other costume, which was amazing. But at the end of the day, like, what is it that, you may not be able to work together now because you have small children, but what is it that you love? I think a lot of the young families, the young, just married, maybe in the last 5 years, a lot of times the spouses do not, one of the spouses doesn't know what their calling is. So the other person is the one that's working, and the other person doesn't know what they want to do. So they're taking more jobs that they don't like, and then that could be bothersome to the other spouse because they could be taking it out on the other spouse. All the frustration of not being able to do what you want to do. That's what's so important when we talk about being in your lane. When you're not in your lane, like my lane is not writing at all.
Or drawing.
Well, that's like a real gift. Writing, anybody could really write. I know anybody could write, but not everybody could write a good story.
Right.
But with practice you can. Like, I'm not going to pick up a stylus pen and start drawing the way you do.
No, well, that's a different situation. But what do you excel in, and what is your lane, and what can you bring your spouse, or again, if you're not married, whoever you're in a relationship with, what can you bring them along into that you can both do together?
And helping your spouse, because your spouse is probably frustrated and wants to be able to provide for the family and maybe can't. So instead of beating them down, with words and stuff and telling them that it's all their fault, that they need to change and they need to move, they need to be the one that makes the change. What if you just encourage them and you told them how much you love them, and no matter what they did, you're going to love them anyway, and everything is going to be okay because you are there for them and you're not going to leave them. That would be the best thing you could ever say to your spouse. The best thing you could say.
Yep.
So, will you do that? Would you do that?
Since I'm on camera, I'm going to say yes. Since I'm here on camera, I will say yes.
Liar.
Well, guys, listen, we love you, and we're glad we could come to you today from, again, the Opryland Hotel. If you haven't been here, check it out. It's amazing. And we will be talking next week. Back at our normal place next week.
I'll see you all Tuesday morning, and don't forget, Friday, we have Sophia Hartman, our daughter, who is teaching.
Excellent teacher. I mean, I'm not just saying that because I'm her dad. She's an amazing teacher of the word.
And then Saturday, we have part 2 of Billy Blank's story, On the Journey. So you want to check that out.
Awesome.
Plus, our fabulous, amazing teachers. We've got tomorrow, we've got Cindy, we've got Mike Hoesch, we've got Jeremiah, Sophia at Garden, and then Herman Racquel. And then we have Niki, and then we have me. And then we have Nichole Marbach.
What about Allie?
Oh my gosh, that's right. Allie teaches at 6 in the morning.
There you go, Allie. Yep.
So you're getting, man, you guys are getting everything that you can even imagine from this platform, and I'm so happy that we are bringing it to you. So we thank you guys for watching. We love you, and we thank God for you. We'll see you Tuesday morning.
We'll fill you in what we did.